The abolitionist movement was the first time women started speaking out for what they believed in. White women and black women alike spoke out against slavery in hopes of emancipating millions of enslaved people. One example is Angelina and Sarah Grimke. Even though the sisters' family owned slaves in South Carolina, they taught their slaves how to read and were strong supporters of emancipation. Angelina moved to Pennsylvania in 1829 and became a Quaker. She later wrote a letter to William Lloyd Garrison's abolitionist paper, The Liberator. In that same year, she hoped to persuade women to support emancipation with her famous work, An Appeal to Christian Women in the South.
I know you do not make the laws, but I also know that you are the wives and mothers, sisters and daughters of those who do. Let the Christian women of the South arise and
Despite the opportunities that came their way, the Grimke sisters faced mixed coverage for their efforts. After the Civil War, they shifted their focus to women's rights. Finally, Angelina wrote several letters to Catherine Beecher encouraging her to speak out about abolition. Another example is how Mary Ann Shadd Cary used her career as a progressive voice in the abolitionist movement, starting in 1848, when she responded to a call from the abolitionist paper, The North Star, for reader suggestions on how African American lives could be improved. Frederick Douglass ran her letter, which was very critical of the male-dominated abolitionist movement and abolitionists who did not support full equity and instead supported segregation efforts. Shadd Cary's family left the United States for Canada when the Fugitive Slave Act passed in 1850. 3 years later, she founded the Provincial Freeman in Ontario, a newspaper dedicated to anti-slavery, temperance, and general literature. Throughout her life, Shadd Cary was well known as a powerful voice for women on the fringe during the abolitionist and later during the suffrage movement. Women finding their voices during the abolitionist movement has allowed women to continue to find their voices even up to today. For example, Hillary Clinton's lost 2016 presidential bid was a watershed moment for feminism. After her loss to Donald Trump, Clinton pointed out that she didn't just lose because people disagreed with her policies, but that her candidacy fell victim to cultural stereotypes surrounding women in power, as well as unconscious gender biases among the electorate. The #MeToo movement also sparked change in ways that no one thought possible.
Yeah, I have a lot of stories, so I kind of just figured whatever came to mind.
Yeah, I have a long list of stories I could tell.
Yeah, it's weird. I was thinking of what story to tell because there are so many.
Women used the media to not only show that men, particularly those in power, were getting away with sexual misconduct, assault, and rape, as well as to show other women they were not alone. What was once taboo became a form of empowerment and progression. By finding and using their voices to address the injustice they saw in the world, the women of the abolitionist movement paved the way so that women today can hold positions of power, run for the nation's highest office, and speak out against social inequities and sexual violence.